Okay, welcome in to another great episode of Living in San Diego. I'm your host, Hanish Polko, joined by my friend and real estate team member, David Williams. David, welcome on.
How's it going?
We're talking about one of my favorite topics,
Pacific Beach.
where we live, because you live there too.
Yes.
Tell me your history in PB, because you've lived there in the past, and then you lived there again.
Nope. I've been here. I'm kind of a out in the country kind of person. So this is kind of the first city I've lived in, if you could call it that.
Okay.
And so I've been here about 2.5 years, and I really love it. I'm surprised at how much I love it.
I am from Michigan originally. When I first moved to San Diego, I moved to Carmel Valley, which didn't match my lifestyle so much because I was young and single. And then when I broke up with the girlfriend, my brother had moved here as well. He was living in Linda Vista over by USD. And so I was like, break your lease. You can fill it with someone else. No problem. Let's get a spot together. It'll be cool for the two of us. So we're shopping for places. And my brother's wise beyond his ways. And he says, look, we could live downtown or in the city, any place in the world. You can only live at the beach in very few places in the world. I was like, you're absolutely right. We can go drive to the city, take an Uber, take a party bus, as was common back then. So we ended up at the beach, and we ended up overlooking Sail Bay, which people forget that, people say, oh, Crown Point as like a distinction from PB. But I was like, you should have some pride in PB, because Crown Point is Pacific Beach. It's just like a subsection of it, And so we lived right at the border of Crown Point. But I would always just say PB on Sail Bay, and we had some great years there, and lived on Riviera for almost 10 years before I got my spot in Emerald about 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been there since. And my family loves it, I love it, my wife loves it, and so we plan on staying for a long time. So it's
one of the great parts about it is the variety from Crown Point all the way up to we're almost La Jolla.
Yeah,
and it gets quieter and quieter as you get up. I'm 55, so I kind of like being up here
for sure.
North End, and it's some mornings it's spooky quiet.
Yeah, it is really pretty quiet because if it's not Friday or Saturday night and you're not on Garnett, you don't really hear it. I live 2 blocks away, and I have to really strain my ears to hear any kind of noise from 2 blocks away even. So it just kind of shows, and that's changed a lot because the alcohol ban in 2009 really changed the lifestyle in PB, right? Because PB was known as that hard charging party all day, party all night, and drinking heavily on the beach and having a lot of drunk people, for good or bad. But that's why a lot of people, when they were young, then they'd meet their significant other at Shoreclub or wherever they met them, and then say we have to move out to the burbs, and then they move out to Miramar or Scripps Ranch or Rancho Bernardo or Carmel Valley, which are also great for families. But what happened is when I met my wife, and when we said, okay, do we have to move to the burbs if we're going to have kids? She's like, no, it's changed a lot in people. Let's stay here. Because now we could go to the beach and not have to worry about getting drunk and, run over by a drunken party of people playing football that, are doing keg stands and stuff all day long, which I have no problem with that. It's just tough when it leaves a mess and it affects your ability to keep your children safe from getting run over. But now it's mellowed out.
It's a lot of families, and it's just fun to watch people just having a good time without having too good of a time.
Yeah. So it's good. It's a good blend. You can go have as much fun as you want in PB, but the location is so key, right? You can get downtown quick. You can get to the airport quick. You can get to Mission Valley quick. If you want to go to the stadiums for football at Snapdragon or baseball, that's all close by. And then, the best amenity that San Diego has is our beaches. And I would argue that Pacific
Biking,
Beach,
surfing, walking, everything.
Mission Beach, Pacific Beach, and Mission Bay are probably easily the 3 best beaches in San Diego.
And isn't Mission Bay the biggest aquatics park in the world? I heard you say that on video before.
That's exactly true. And oftentimes when you look at like travel magazines, they'll rate the Coronado beaches as the most beautiful. But now with all the problem coming out of Tijuana and the proximity, the water is not usable a lot of the time now. And so it's like, okay, cool, you got this pretty beach with shiny, sparkly sand, but you could get sick going in the water. And we're a few miles further north of that, but apparently it's good enough to pass the tests, which seems to be good enough for the thousands of people that are in there every day.
Yeah.
That don't seem to get sick every day either.
Yeah. You wear a wetsuit.
Is that how that prevents it? I don't know how that works. Okay, so great location. It's super vibrant, and we have lots of other amenities too, right? The farmers market has become a hit. Have you checked it out?
I have. It's been a little bit, but was it Tuesday?
Tuesdays on Bayard and Hornblende. Nice central location, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, lots of local producers of goods, from cheeses to jewelry to clothing, and lots of food vendors as well. Just last week, we took our family down and had lunch or dinner at the farmers market, and it's cool because you bump into friends and neighbors that you might not have seen, and you see them at the farmers market. So it's a nice gathering place too. That gives you that sense of community. Additionally, we have lots of concerts. Been up to Kate Sessions for the concerts on the park?
I have not been to that.
We're in the midst of it right now. I think we've got a couple more weeks left. On Sunday afternoons, they do concerts on the park. They set up a stage. They have a live band there.
Okay.
And there'll be a lot of people. The hardest thing is you got to get there by biking or walking because there's no parking.
Yeah, there's a lot of events like that.
Then we've had lots of street fests. Pacific Beach Fest has been going on for years. We had a little hiatus from COVID, but they're back. They'll have like 1 or 2 or even sometimes 3 stages. They'll often have like a fish taco competition where the local restaurants will compete to have the best fish tacos. So you pay like $15 and you get to try like 6 or 7 fish tacos.
Nothing wrong with that.
And then you get to vote for who's the best and try all the different varieties of fish tacos. And the restaurants, because it's so competitive in PB, to try to get the crowd, they really do step up their cooking game.
Yeah.
They want you to come back. They want you to know that they've got good food.
It's funny, we were at Kono's this morning, and it's still, the prices are good. I mean, and the guy I was with, he's all, when we were in high school, that guy was behind the counter.
That's
so it's
longevity.
The same guy, yeah, same guy there, and there's always a line out the door.
Yep.
And that's probably because they keep their prices low, but I mean, I love going there.
The location's
and you get
premium.
a great view. Yeah,
Location's
you're right on the
premium.
water.
Holiday celebrations, we often have parades and runs and 5Ks that shut down Garnett. And that's one of my favorite things. I'm not a runner. I don't love it, but I love when they close down the streets because I'll go down with my family and take our bikes or just walk and have a car-free Garnett for those days. And it's such a great vibe. It's such a good energy.
Last year, I think I was just driving off Garnett, and there was a line of golf carts decorated holiday, and I put my phone out the window and just video, and it just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
Sent it to some friends of mine. What is this? This is unbelievable.
They have the parades, and they get the horses through, and the police will come through, and all the different local organizations will have floats, and it's pretty cheap to enter your own float on a trailer and just pull it behind anything, or even enter your golf cart and decorate it and just ride through. And it's fun to be part of the parade. It kind of gives you that small town feel because PB is actually fairly small in terms of population. It's only 40,000 people that live there. But because of all the tourist accommodations, because of the beach, even day use, a busy weekend can see 1 million people or more come to PB. Enjoy the
They even have a Mission Bay float where everybody gets out there on their floaties.
Yeah, they just had that.
That's the whole thing, yeah.
They had a couple of those. I was trying to skirt the alcohol rules by floating and drinking on your float. I think they've changed some of those rules too.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't wear.
I don't know what they're enforcing at this point, but it's tough. It's tough because drinking's legal. They just make it illegal everywhere.
I think they've got a really good happy medium on the drinking. I think they've done a good job. I know the laws are in place, and sometimes you see people drink, but it's all done well.
True. Yeah.
People may have some cups out there, but they keep an eye on it, and it's in check.
I agree. Yeah, if you're kind of discreet and you're not drawing a big scene, then you're probably going to get away with it.
Not that you should do that.
That's use your discretion advised. We talked about all the biking. There's lots of bike trails. Because it's so flat for most of it, it's an easy beach cruiser town. You don't need gears. You don't need electric bikes.
Yep.
Even though electric bikes and gears have gotten popular, I still have.
My roommate got a really nice electric bike. He's all, you can take that out anytime. I've never used that. If I'm going on a bike, I'm going to get some exercise. What do I want that for?
You can cover more miles, 1, 2, but the risky thing is that then you got to keep an eye on it because someone is eyeing your bike.
Yeah.
And bike thieves are opportunistic. Exactly. Surfing, obviously, we've got great waves. We've got all the different types of waves too. From my surfer friends, they say that depending on which part of the beach you're at, you can get different qualities of waves.
It's funny, people ask if I'm a surfer. I say, well, I go out there with a surfboard. I don't know if I'd call myself a surfer.
Yeah,
But.
that counts. That counts for something. I moved to PB for volleyball. We have the most volleyball courts of anywhere that I know of in San Diego.
And they're usually full.
There are a lot of people there. And so I play on a sail bay where we have a kind of an exclusive, semi-exclusive court. Obviously, all of it's open play. If you come and say, we'd like to challenge you, you get to play the next game. So beach sports as well, the water sports, the kayaking, the paddle boarding.
Mm-hmm.
They've got now got the hydrofoils. They've got windsurfing out there.
If you go a little into Mission Bay, you can do some wakeboarding too.
Sail, yeah, that's Mission Bay, but it still kind of counts as the 92109, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so every sport you can think of is in PB. I love having it. Okay, how about dining? What are some of your favorite restaurants?
Like I said, Konos. I just recently found Sandbox, which it's just black on the outside.
Yeah.
It looks like nothing.
Yeah.
And I walked by one day and I looked inside and I'm all, we got to go here. We went there that week and it was great.
They have live music. They've got great food. They've got good service. My favorite restaurant in PB is at Tower 23, JRDN or Jardin. I don't know how people pronounce it exactly. I just know I go there. Yeah.
Right on the boardwalk.
Classier. It's like, 4 to 5 star type place. You can definitely show up with fancy clothes, but because it's San Diego, you could still show up in shorts and a t-shirt. Reservations.
I've been too intimidated to go there.
Really?
I'm not a big fancy guy, but it looks really classy when I walk by there.
It is nice, and then everyone that's there is usually in a good mood too. There's no shortage of great taco places like Oscars, like City Tacos, like Taco Surf, Perla. There's so many. And if you're a taco or Cali burrito fan, there's probably a dozen different ways to.
Harry's is right by my place. So.
It's Harry's Taco.
Yeah, that's right. Get my burrito.
That's it, right? And that's the little hidden business right next to Cass Street Bar and Grill, which is another great bar, right? And that gets us right into our nightlife, which is it's not just clubs and techno music. There's a lot of places that are a little bit more old school or traditional, like Cass Street Bar and Grill.
I like Latitude 32.
Latitude 32.
A little bit away. It's a little quieter, but it's a great crowd.
They have good bartenders that have probably been there for 20, 30 years or longer.
And the owner's a crack up.
And my wife's just telling me about how fun the bartenders are there. And so that's nice. So other good spots, Alehouse. We mentioned Shoreclub. Firehouse is a great spot. We were just at Duckdive, Thrusters. Obviously, the biggest ones are Mavericks. Always has a line. It's fun. It's a great spot. It's actually kid-friendly during the day. So I'll bring my kids there. The backyard is a cool spot. They've got great food, great TVs right next door, and they can get rowdy. And there's a couple of speakeasies in PV. Both the grass skirt and adjacent to it is the captain's quarters on Grand. And grass skirt's a tiki bar. It's kind of a secret entrance.
Yeah,
super fun.
I haven't gone there. I always drive by it thinking, I got to stop there.
Well worth to go. When you got a friend from out of town, that's the spot to go.
Okay.
Love that spot. Captain's Quarter is also fun for like a drink and a snack. They don't have a lot of great meal items there, but good to go pop in and pay for an overpriced drink. And then maybe you finish up over at Pueblo, right there in Hornblende, and the newer coastal fusion seafood type place.
Yeah, that one's that's a little classier too, a little more expensive too. And Lahaina, we can't leave Lahaina out.
Of course not. Lahaina is the original beach cabin cottage.
Yeah, if I get tired on my bike, I stop there, have a little beer, it gets me back.
Drink. That's the one place where people are always hooting and hollering.
Oh yeah,
that is a fun spot there.
It's fun, and I always walk or drive by, and I look. I know anybody? Oh, there's no reason to stop. Okay.
And it's so walkable. It's nice thing about PB is because it's flat. A lot of weekends I have babysitter and my wife and I'll go out or meet up friends. We don't take our cars anywhere. We can walk, we can bike, and now they got the new circuit ride. Have you heard of this? It's a new partnership.
Oh, I've seen them. The little golf carty thing.
Golf cart things right now they're free, so you can call them up on your app. They'll pick you up and drop you off anywhere in PB. To anywhere in PB.
And it's free.
It's free currently, and then they're going to start rolling out some pricing.
Oh, I like it.
The pricing is right now, so give it a try. And how about homes?
Well, we got them.
Okay. Can you afford them?
Yeah. There's, again, all varieties.
Sale prices, there's few and far between to get a house. Even fixer houses will sell for about 1.6 to 1.7 million just to have access to a 6,300 square foot lot. Right. The goal is that you could then rebuild that house into a house and up to 2 ADUs, or in some areas even more. And make it palatable because it'll cash flow, because rents are through the roof
Yes.
in PB as well. To get like a fixed up, decent condition house is about $2 million, and even condos go for about $750 on average. So that's the price point. It's not cheap, but you're by the ocean, and it's high demand. You know, people got to remember that if you're saying, should I spend $2 million here or $2 million elsewhere? Well, I would wager to bet that we get better appreciation than most parts of the county, city, state, or the country. Well, so the point of this is, if you haven't been, or if you have been, and you haven't explored everything that PB has to offer, don't remember it as just only the party spot.
Exactly. If I was looking for a home, I fell into where I am right now, but it would be the perfect place to buy a house to live in.
Yeah.
Because, and you know, you're a couple streets down.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. It's not La Jolla. You're not paying La Jolla prices, but you're getting pretty much everything you get.
Absolutely. It's another great episode of Living in San Diego. Thanks for joining us today.